Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and I'm standing outside our latest purchase, which is a very interesting property. It's 7 units, including a 5-unit kind of apartment house, and then 2 other small houses. So we will be able to go in a couple of the units that are vacant and show you those. We'll talk about the numbers, why we bought it, the interesting story behind buying it, and lots more other information. Some of you may remember the compound we bought a little over a year ago. It had 3 houses in the commercial property, and this kind of reminds us of that property a little bit. But we'll talk about all that and show you the property right now. And of course, we appreciate the likes and comments, so keep those coming. And check out investormore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all that great stuff, and how to actually invest in real estate like we do. Okay, let's get started. All right, so here is the one house. So it came with one house. That's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. We'll show you that house. It is vacant. And then it's got 1 unit there, a unit there that's vacant, we'll show you, a unit occupied there, occupied unit, vacant unit on the end over there that we just broke into. I'll show you that one. And then this tiny little house right here too. So 7 units in all. It is on a somewhat busy road, but you get that a lot with multi-unit properties. It's kind of to be expected sometimes. And we paid $550,000 for this property. So we'll talk about why we paid that much, what the rents could be, what they are now, and what our plans are for this beautiful gem. So here is the house, and it does need some love and work. All the roofs are really old, have lots of layers. So one of the first things we're doing is having our roofer come over to look at it and check it out. And of course, we've got some friends next door who are saying hi to us. That is not on this property. That's a separate property. So the start of our property is kind of in between, probably where that fence is back there, and then here's the property here. And we may show you a really good murder room too in this house, because I did go down there as well, kind of trying to find furnace, utility information. So I mentioned we paid $550,000 for this, and this is a property that we bought before it hit the market, which is one reason why we got this deal. It's been very hard getting deals lately. And so there's an agent who we've made offers on probably 3 or 4 houses she's had recently, and we've lost all of them. And yes, that is just a random shirt laying on the floor that we're not sure if it was there before or not. And so she texted me and said, hey, do you want to see a property that I'm listing next week before it hits the market? Because I think she felt kind of bad we kept missing out. And we said, sure. So we came and saw this property. We were able to see inside this house, and that was it. We could not see anything else. They said some of the other units were vacant, but they didn't have any keys, and we couldn't really tell what was vacant and what wasn't vacant. So we saw this house, looked at the rest of it, and me being the adventurous person I am, said, okay, we'll buy it. So we made a full price offer, bought the property, and or made the offer on it, got it accepted, and 2 weeks later, here we are. Now, as you can see, this place needs a lot of work. So why would we pay so much money for a property? Well, it has 7 units, and 7-unit properties are extremely expensive anywhere in Colorado right now, it seems like, unless you go to the very, very far eastern side of the state. Or maybe Pueblo, the southern part. But this place could be rented probably for $1,200 for the house, $900 to $1,000 for each of the other units, even maybe $800. But basically, we could have a property that's rented from $6,000 to $7,000 a month. And if we were able to do that, we're bringing in, $70,000, $80,000 a year. And based on rent multipliers and cap rates and what stuff is selling for right now, that would make this close to $1 million property. So I know it sounds kind of crazy looking at it now, but that's why we bought it. So that's why we bought it without seeing inside every unit. Obviously it needs some work. It'll take some money and time to get to that point, but it's also bringing in a little bit of rent right now, which also makes it a little easier for us to, take all those costs and carrying costs and everything while we stabilize it. So it has 4 units that are rented. I think they're rented from $500 to $600 a month, so it brings in a couple $1,000s a month now. And then we have 3 vacant units. So we can work on the vacant units now. And actually we might fix up some of the other units a little bit while people are living in them, because she literally has broken windows and no tile in the shower. Like, it's a mess. And obviously we're not going to show you her place while she lives there. But I'm like, hey, we can fix some of this stuff for you so it's, you know, a livable property. You don't have to deal with all this stuff. So we'll fix some of the current tenants' issues as well right away, so they don't have to deal with all that. Now, once we get these fixed up and rented, then the decision is, okay, what do we do with the other tenants who are still living here? A couple or didn't pay rent this month from what we know. So we may offer them money to move out and say, hey, here's $1,000, $1,500 to move out. And then if they do that, then we can go in their units, fix them up, release them. So some people have said, hey, are you planning to keep this as a rental? And no, I'm not planning to keep it after we get it stabilized, rented. The plan would be to sell it, just because for my rentals, I have very strict criteria on locations, age of the property, type of property, and this does not meet most of those. So it would be one kind of like a flip rental where we buy it, fix it up, stabilize it, and then sell it. All right, so that's this house. Now let's take a look at some of the rest of the property. Okay, I said we had a really good murder room in this house, and we'll show you that now. And hopefully Nikki doesn't drop the door on my head. But here we go. And hopefully there's nobody down here with me either. But as you can see, this is quite the murder room, full of junk. And we'll get this all cleaned out, and who knows what's underneath all that stuff and how long it's been here. And then we've got other random stuff. A flashlight, condo work. Oh, there's a super duper old furnace, which who knows if that's even hooked up. Here's your water heater. Oh, yep, pretty amazing. Down here, fragile cookie jars. And then, uh-oh, Nikki's. Okay, so that's our murder room. Yep. So here is one of the other vacant units. They are not, you know, super fancy, say the least, but they're not horrible either. You know, they've been updated at some point, I guess you could say. It's been a while. They're just one bedrooms though, so, you know, not a whole lot of size to them. But the bedroom isn't tiny either, so that's kind of nice. And mattress is not very nice either. So this is one vacant one. We can come through, spruce it up a little bit, make it nicer. And yeah, it's crazy, but these will literally rent for $800 to $900, maybe even a little more, given the current rental market. Very hard to find anything for that price. And then yeah, the kitchen is basically one cabinet. So we will come through, make the kitchens much nicer, make it a much more, you know, obviously workable kitchen, because there's not much here in the bathroom as well. We'll need quite a bit of work. Yeah, it's always interesting going through these properties for the first time, not really knowing who or what you're gonna run into. But so far, it's been okay. Except for the unit next door with all the cameras, and the guy just stares at me all the time. But we talked to the rest of the tenants when we first got here. Like, first thing I did when we bought it was made out some sheets, some notices saying we're the new landlords. Here's who you call for questions. Here's where you pay rent. And talked to 3 of the tenants. So they seem to be fairly nice. We're cool about it. We're happy to hear from us. And one lady showed me her apartment and what needed some work and some stuff to be done. So it's always good to start things off on hopefully a good note with a good relationship, and not be a jerk or distant about things. So there's one unit, and then we'll look at this other vacant unit here as well. Okay, so there's also this little room here, which I think maybe was a laundry room, like a shared laundry room at one point. And then look at this. I mean, we might just hit the mother lode for murder rooms right here. And I am gonna try and make my way down here without killing myself. While recording, oh, hopefully these are strong. Whew. I don't know how strong these are. I might not go all the way down there because I feel like these are gonna break. There you go. There's that beautiful murder room. Okay. So here is the other vacant unit, and this is the one that I could not get the key to work on, and someone has drilled out that keyhole. So that could be why. But my little credit card got us in. So if you are concerned about safety at all, always make sure you have a deadbolt. Do not just rely on a single handle lock, because if it is not super tight and super has a plate against it, you can open this in about 30 seconds with a credit card or a knife or anything somewhat flexible. So yeah, that's your PSA for the day. This one, a little bit more work is needed here. And the bedroom's not quite as big either, you can see. So we will have to come through, obviously do flooring, check out the heaters. That other apartment tour, I don't know if you noticed it, it was missing the baseboard heater, so it does have electric baseboard heat, but well, the other one did not. The rest do. So yeah, there's your bedroom. Your living room, complete with tires, and then your kitchen is back here. Yeah, it's very, very warm in here. I think those heaters are turned up all the way or don't turn off, I'm not sure, but yeah. And again, your kitchen, not much of a kitchen, so we'll obviously make this as good as we can, try and fix that up. And your beautiful bathroom. There's your plumbing running on the outside of the walls where it's supposed to run. Try not to do too many cobwebs here. And then your beautiful shower. Might need a little work here too. So that is the property that we can see for right now. And another fun fact for the day. Maybe I'll drive her. Oh, you can see it pretty well. I sold that house right there as a foreclosure in 2010, maybe, for $23,000. Yes, if you can believe that. And it's probably worth, what, $350,000 now, something ridiculously crazy. You could buy houses over here for $20,000 to $30,000 10 years ago, and yeah, some of them are worth over $300,000 now. Now that one was a mess. It was in horrible condition. It was boarded, but $20-some thousand, just crazy. All right, that's the property. We'll have lots of updates on this one. I don't know if we want to call it the compound 2 or not. I don't know. The tenants seem pretty nice so far, so maybe we'll come up with a different name for it. Or you guys can always suggest names for us too, and that might be a fun activity. You can tell us what we should name this new property. So we'll have lots of updates on it, lots of remodel progress videos, tenant progress if we get new tenants in here, all kinds of great stuff. So hope you guys like this one. It's an interesting property. It'll be an interesting process. Be cool to see what we can get stuff rented for, and then eventually what we'll sell it for too. Love the likes, love the comments, keep those coming. Like I said, check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being agent, all of that great stuff too. And we have 9 books on Amazon as well, and I'm working on a 10th right now, which I think a lot of you will like, is my crazy real estate story. So my biggest problem is I keep remembering more and more stories to write about. So hopefully that'll be done here sometime this year. All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back with much more coming up soon.